Hey, Spectrum, Lance. It's me, Speckles here. Come at you in this video. I am making 4 faction leaders for mine and Jokerjoe65's comic series collaboration, and another friend of his has actually joined, Sorhan. And yeah. We did hold a competition between the 3 of us for the live faction leader, and I will get more into that in the last bit. But without further ado, let's roll into the intro and let's get into the video. Let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Well, like we were saying in the beginning, in this video I'm doing faction leaders. For the first one, I did my fire faction leader. I just picked the ones I did, and let's just say the fire one turned out pretty well. Like, for the record, orange stands for cocky attitude, white stands for, what was it? What does white force stand for again? Give me 1 second. It stands for, white stands for intelligence, black stands for power, blue stands for kind, competitive, and green stands for wise. So, yeah, came out pretty well. And for the background on this guy, I'm thinking maybe he's part elemental, and he's naturally very adept of doing fire magics, and practically the only magic he can use. But after using it so much, he's actually started to mutate, and this is his final form. Like half of his body's covered in rock, and his arm has been split into 3 portions. His upper arm, which is now a stump, his elbow, and his hand. He can actually still feel them via the flow of magic, via the fire that's connecting them. He also, part of his face is covered up, which is like Zuko's scar that just takes out a good chunk of it. On his upper shoulder and his elbow, his side of his head are all constantly on fire. Also on his upper leg and his lower foot, which is right around a good about halfway down, a good portion up from where your foot is actually just there, just made of rock as well, and there's fire connected there too. He has 2 rock claws on the front and 1 on the back for support, and same thing with his arms connected via fire. He also has some little rocky parts on his on his more human side of the body, and that's because of the fact that they just popped up there one day. And also his hand and his foot have also mutated to the point they have become elementalistic. But he is now the head of the fire faction under Abel, which is the leader of the monster hunters. And funny enough, it's actually a not a dictatorship or anything. It's actually a presidential thing, but he's the only one who's actually able to run it correctly, which I find quite funny, to be honest. Well, let's get into the next one. Okay, for the next one I did, which was the metal faction leader, I gave him the minor ability to use earth magic. The reason I think that works in it is because Sun Earth has metal in it, just a very low amount. But I'm thinking this guy can control it to a very low degree. But also, he is a golem that somehow gains sentience. And it's now the head of a faction leader. It's now a faction leader just because it's that pure thing. It can also hop from body to body. But for every single time it hops body, it always mutates and goes into this form. It has 2 horns and a tail, and 1 claw, and always 1 sword arm. I'm thinking this thing is like some type of a metal demon that can hop from body to body, but just really prefers sitting in this one body, and that would explain why this body keeps mutating all the time. And also, during conversation, me and Joe were discussing some things. We also came to the conclusion that what was it? Oh yeah, my sorcerer is actually the son of my man OC. Just that my man OC has so many kids he doesn't really know. He doesn't sleep around a whole lot. It's more or less just like every century or so he falls in love with a mortal woman, they get married, but then again they get pregnant, she gets pregnant, she has a kid, but then something major happens and he forgets about the kid because, the life of a Demos is very bumpy and very hard to deal with. But also, but he does know about Ryan really well, because funny enough, he's actually a very good friend of his. He just doesn't know that he's his son until one time he used some type of bloodline magic. He immediately saw that he was related to his best friend. Ryan also has the ability to create minor demos. Just he needs a base for them first. Which is his first go at it was actually his golem. I mean, that guy's actually low rank in demos in of itself. Him himself is actually mid to high rank. We also discussed something about the some other things, but I'll get into those in a little bit. Until then, let's get over into the next one, shall we? Let's go. Now, for the third one I did was the Shadow. Was the Shadow faction leader. And I'm seeing this one as maybe half elf, half dark elf, half Demoth, because of the tail and the arms I gave it. Also, just in general, Demoth have the best ability to use shadow magic. So that would explain it. Also, he actually, yeah, I know it looked like a female, but it's actually a dude. He actually has the ability to control shadows to make whatever he wants out of them, which would be explained by him being part Demoth. And also the reason why it's a shocker is because this guy does look like a girl. Matter of fact, the lore out for this guy states that his parents, while his mother was still pregnant with him, they thought he was going to get female. And when they gave birth, he had the face of a female, but when the doctor looked down, he said, it's a girl. He said, look down there. He said, never mind, it's got the junk. It is a male. The family actually burst out laughing, and they actually already had a name picked out for him, and it's actually Nyx, which is like princess and Nyx mixed together. Nyxus. He actually really likes his name. He wears like a badge of honor saying, my parents thought I was going to be female. Well, I proved them wrong on my naive in my first hour of living. He gets on his parents' nerves with that one thing all the time, and it's just a very funny family inside joke they have. But overall, his mother is a Demost, well, actually his father. His mother was the shadow elf. And his father was the Demos. His father is actually Shadow Nyx. The new name I gave for the Shadow, decided to give him a new name and change it to Shadow Nyx, which I find pretty cool. And that's pretty much everything for this guy. Now, the overall design came out pretty well. I still really need to get better drawing different poses, to be honest. But couldn't really think of anything much, so I just drew that little sword in right there. Overall, I think this one turned out okay. It's not my best piece, but it's certainly okay. It's not the worst either, but like I've said so multiple times in this audio file, it's okay. I'm okay with it. Let's get to the last one. And before we get into the next one, I just wanted to say that I got 3rd place in the competition, and yeah, mine was a decent design. I mostly copied Jokerjoe65's because it was actually a pretty interesting idea, but in the lore I'm giving for this character, it is a tad bit different. For his drawing, she is part swamp. For mine, you'll see. But without further ado, let's get into my drawing. Let's go. Okay, the last one is my submission for a competition between me, Jokerjoe65, and Sorhan, a new member of the book where me and Jokerjoe are fighting. Are writing, sorry. And we decided neither of us could decide who's going to be doing the life guy, so life action leader, we decided for it to be a competition. We all actually managed to finish our drawings pretty much on the same day or the day before. I already lost, like I already stated before. I got 3rd place, but it's because I actually agreed wholeheartedly that I lost fair and square, because Sorhan's drawing was a whole lot better. But for the record, the soul faction leader and the life faction leader are actually both married to Demos. I'm going to tell Sorhan that sometime later. Me and Jokerjoe were talking about that, and it was actually Jokerjoe65's. I'm just going to call him Joe with his permission. It was Joe's idea to actually have them married to Demos, which actually makes some sense. And I brought up the fact that, the soul and life magic actually might have been one magic at one time, but it just got so different that it became separated, and now it is in 2 different types. But the original magic name was Breath of Life. Soul being the breath and just life. And the reason why in this one it says, for this one it says, sorry, what was it? It says, I'm having a hard time figuring this out. Oh yeah, the reason why it says soul minor, it's just because it doesn't have a soul literary form. It just the soul magic just being there in just a minor form, it gives this character a major boost in power. Also, it is how do I say this? Her name is Lifus, and it's actually a pretty okay name. But I'm gonna ask Sorhan's his guy's name sometime soon, and I will talk about the next time I'm going over some characters. But that is pretty much everything, other than the fact that I mostly copied some ideas for my character from Jokerjoe65's. The main thing is that the vine arm and the staff, But I also think that one time she got her leg lopped off and wasn't able to heal it, even with her soul and life magic. So she managed to somehow control the life around her and actually fuse it with her legs. And now those little vines actually help her move around. And they actually grow in strength during the day. Stronger and stronger every day. And the black diamond in there actually helps her even at night. It actually helps her with the with it. During the day it's black and absorbs power, but during the night it's actually glowing white and helping her boost her power. Same thing with her metal arm. It's actually I'm trying to remember, a prosthetic limb that's actually infused with magic that was made for her by Alloy, the metal faction leader. Actually a pretty interesting concept right there. The way I think that happened was that what was it? Lifes and Alloy were fighting some chaos beasts, which are monsters in this world, and they're pretty common for demons. They're pretty much a house pet. And what was it? And for the record, she had her original human arm and her vines at this time. But one monster managed to lop off her arm from a good portion around her elbow down. And after they managed to fend them off, she managed to stop the bleeding using her life magic. And later, Alloy made her a metal prosthetic and infused it with some of his magic and gave it to her, and then grafted it onto her arm. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, the soul one actually does have kids with a Demost. So, yeah, suspect some of those to be drawn in the future. Now, see ya for all that. Bye. This next clip is the order of who submitted first, second, and third, and the it says in a part on top of it of who submitted and what place they got. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. That's all the time I got for today. Until next time, subscribe to Jokerjoe65's or Demons Alliance. Goodbye and peace out, everyone.